Hey everyone, so in today's video, we'll be talking with 4 female entrepreneurs, all who became millionaires running their own businesses. Let's be real, there's way too many guy entrepreneurs. We need more female entrepreneurs. So hopefully this video can inspire some of you guys watching to go start your entrepreneurial journey. The 4 entrepreneurs we're talking today, they're all badasses. They're all doing really cool things in business. And I'm so excited to learn from them. Behind me, we have the all-new Corvette C8 Stingray. And so yeah, we'll be driving around in this car today. I'm super excited. Let's go. So what's your name and what do you do for a living?
I am Janell Ocampo and I am the founder of Bellevue Wellness and Medical Aesthetics.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your business?
Bellevue is a med spa and we provide services such as Botox and dermal filler treatments and laser hair removal treatments or laser skin rejuvenation, brown spot treatments. We offer treatments to help boost confidence in others.
In 30 seconds or less, can you tell us the story of how this all came to be?
I was obsessed with the idea of looking younger, and so I got my first treatment and I loved it so much that I decided I wanted to get a job in it so I can get a discount. I got a job in it and I loved the way it made other people feel as well, and so it was the positive impact on others that really got me to stay and grow to where I'm at now.
If you could travel back 20 years, what would you tell yourself?
Anything's possible and dream big. As long as I'm passionate about it and I keep going, I will make it.
How many people do you have working at Bellevue right now?
Probably about 22 employees.
What challenges have you faced building up your team?
There's a shortage in our industry of skilled injectors, and it takes a long time to train people in that type of skill. At Bellevue, one of the most important things is that we provide the best possible outcomes for our patients. So we have a really high standard of what that skill needs to look like before they can touch a patient.
You guys have also built a fantastic team culture. How do you do that?
To hire slow, to try to get to know that employee, to make sure that they're going to match with our culture and that they have a passion for outstanding customer service and being a part of a team.
What is the #1 trait that you think a lot of successful entrepreneurs all have?
Persistence, willing to work really hard even when maybe other people would give up. I think it's related to following our passion. That's such a common thing that I think most entrepreneurs will say is they fell in love with something. When it got hard, they kept going, and of course that's my exact same situation.
What are your thoughts on taking action?
Fearless leader is such a strong statement. As an entrepreneur, you have to be fearless. You have to be willing to break boundaries and do things that other people wouldn't do and try it, because if you hesitate too much, then someone else is going to do it. And it's actually so much fun to be fearless. It sucks right before you're about to jump, but when you're in the middle of doing it, it feels amazing. And then when you get to the other side, it's even better.
What would you tell people that are super scared to make that first move?
I think there's a certain level of fear that we should all listen to and pay respect to and really pay attention to what they're afraid of, because maybe it doesn't make sense what they're interested in doing and they need to visit another idea. I think fear is healthy and should be listened to, but at some point you're going to have to bite the bullet if you want to open a business.
In the last year or two, what's probably been the best purchase you've made?
Changing my CPA. Having really strong people in your corner to help you manage your business and manage your money is so important. By me changing my CPA, I saved the business and me personally so much money that my biggest regret is not doing that years ago. I know I lost millions because I didn't do it sooner.
What is the most rewarding thing about entrepreneurship?
I absolutely love that my time is mine. I can take a vacation whenever I want. I can be with my family whenever I want. I don't miss anything when it comes to important events, and that's so important to me.
How do you balance your life with work?
I just make sure that my family is first and I'm there for everything that's important, and then the rest of the time is for me, whether it's the business or my personal time.
A goal that a lot of business owners have is to eventually sell their business, and I know you guys are currently in the process of selling. How has that been?
I think you probably need 10 YouTube videos to discuss selling a business. It's been a completely different ballgame a side of business that I had no idea what it looked or felt like. It's been really stressful and one of the most stressful things that I have ever been through as a business owner, but it's also one of the most rewarding things that I've been through, and I'm so thankful for the experience, and I've learned a lot. Yeah, sale of a business is just like a whole different beast.
If there's one thing you changed over the last 20 years of your life, what would it be?
I would work on myself more to be a better parent and spouse. I would love to learn skills to be more patient and less reactive.
How do you invest your money?
We invest our money in some real estate. We have rentals, and we also have some money in the stock market. Say a good chunk would be the S&P 500 and a lot of treasury bills.
Nice. Is there any final advice you want to leave to any aspiring female entrepreneurs watching this video, or even any entrepreneurs in general?
Don't be intimidated, especially women. We look at how many entrepreneurs are out there, and most of them are men. Not that long ago, I joined an entrepreneur group, and it's over 80% men. Join the group. Even as the minority, we belong there, and we deserve that type of learning and those types of relationships so we can grow as the entrepreneurs that we are.
So I want to give a shout out to EarnIn, who's sponsoring this portion of the video. Paychecks typically come every 2 weeks, but life happens every day. And EarnIn is an app that makes sure your money keeps up with your life. EarnIn gives you access to your pay the day you earn it, instead of days or weeks from now. It's like your pay, your way. Just download the app, connect your bank details and where you work, and bam, EarnIn verifies your paycheck, and you can access up to $100 a day of your pay. Best part, no mandatory fees, no interest, and no credit check. You can just tip what feels right to you, but like I said, it's completely optional. We've chatted on this channel about how important it is to avoid stuff like getting into credit card debt. And really, why wouldn't you want to use your own money? So if you're ready to shake things up and make everyday payday, hit up the link in the description and download EarnIn. Huge thanks to them for sponsoring this video and supporting financial momentum for all of us. And now back to the video. What's your name and what do you do for a living?
My name is Sam and I am SF-based entrepreneur. So right now I'm building a new startup called Fedi. But prior to Fedi, I was helping fintech companies like Unstoppable Domains advertise.
In 30 seconds or less, can you tell us how you got to where you are today?
I think just starting really young. I started working when I was 15 and then just continuing to build upon the skills that I was passionate about. So that was mainly marketing, starting company after company, going through a lot of trial and error. And that ultimately brought me to what I'm doing today, which is building Fedi, my startup.
So as a woman in entrepreneurship, what challenges have you faced and how did you overcome them?
I think the biggest hurdle is actually overcoming self-doubt and then overcoming fear of failure. But one thing I quickly realized in my career is that a lot of people, they're busy with their own problems, so it's okay if you fail and you embarrass yourself. Most likely people won't remember.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit more about your company?
The company I'm currently building, it's called Fedi, tryfedi.com. We're connecting Gen Z or just young talent with jobs. When I was in college, I had a really hard time finding a job. It was because I didn't know what the proper way to present myself in an interview was. That's when I teamed up with a team of recruiters that were from Fortune 500 companies, and we just started building Fedi. And our mission is really to just help young talent figure out how to get a job.
Building your previous businesses, what are some lessons that you've learned?
Just keep iterating. There's really no such thing as failure. You only fail when you give up. The second thing I think is just business is supposed to be fun, so have fun doing it.
What do you do on a daily basis that you think everyone should do?
I think the first one is reading. I read a lot, probably 2 to 3 hours a day. I think it's the quickest way to grow because it stops you from making all the mistakes that other people have made. The second thing is podcasts. I love different podcasts.
Can you recommend us some of your favorite books or podcasts?
How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a great book. I think Influence, that's a great marketing book.
Can you tell us about one of the struggles you faced in life and how you overcame it?
Having really bad dyslexia when I was young. I started my first business when I was 15, and that was really because I wasn't doing that well in school. But I knew that I could do something good in the world. I feel like I had something to contribute to the world. So I just started kind of going down this different pathway. I knew that I probably wasn't going to succeed in the traditional method, so I might as well try another way.
How do you invest your money?
I've been a long-time investor of crypto, of stocks, and then also private equity, so investing in different companies, primarily in fintech or growth stocks.
If someone just doesn't have any knowledge in investing or building companies, but they want to do this stuff, what are the first steps they should do?
Go on YouTube. I would start absorbing all the information that you can, and then start taking small risks. When I first started my first business at 15, I had no money, and I had no idea how to do marketing, no idea how to do sales, but I actually started making websites for local businesses. I would just go to different malls every weekend and just door knock. Got kicked out of most of them, but got a few yeses, and then they started referring each other, and I grew my network that way.
How did you get the confidence to start doing that?
To be honest, I was just really desperate. I needed to find a way to survive in the long term. First 6 months of building that business, it was definitely a struggle. I think I got 1 or 2 yeses during that time. And then the next 6 months after that one was much better.
What's one of the most important lessons you've learned in the last 5 years?
Everything is possible, but it just takes a lot of work, time, and dedication.
What would you say is the most important trait that you personally have that's helped you become successful?
Persistence and ignorance, but persistence is definitely number one. If you keep going, eventually something's gonna work out.
Right. I know luck's a big part of succeeding in entrepreneurship and all that stuff. How do you get lucky?
Every time you try something, it's almost like you're buying a lottery ticket, and you just might get lucky that time. If every day I'm trying 10 things, right, that could yield some sort of result, well, I'm probably gonna get lucky on some of them. I see that as how you can create your own luck.
Any final advice you want to leave entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs?
If you have any idea, just start today. The younger you start, the better, because the less resources you have. And the less resources you have, the less risk that you are actually taking. Just start really, really early. If you fail, that's totally okay. Everybody that I know that's an entrepreneur fails on a daily basis.
So before we move on to the next entrepreneur, I do want to say if you guys want my free affiliate marketing course, we'll leave a link to that down below in the description. It's completely free to sign up and take the course. So if this is something that interests you, I highly encourage you to check it out. What is your name and what do you do for a living?
My name is Payal. I am a fine jewelry brand owner.
In 30 seconds or less, can you tell us how you got to where you are today?
So I actually have a background in tech. So I went the very traditional corporate route, but I have a family history in jewelry. COVID naturally brought me back to helping my parents, and we started making engagement rings for a bunch of our friends and our family, and realized that we love doing that and love being a part of like people's stories and creating something unique for them. And so we decided to kind of dive in head first, and here we are.
Can you tell me more about your company?
We really specialize in diamond jewelry. So we do a lot of engagement rings, a lot of wedding bands, a lot of wedding jewelry.
As a woman in entrepreneurship, I'm sure you've experienced some like hardships or struggles. Can you tell us about those and how you got over them?
So the jewelry industry, it's predominantly older men. When we first started, I think a lot of times like people didn't really want to take us seriously. It took a lot of educating and convincing that like, hey, like, we belong here just as much as you do. And I think that was one of the hardest things for us when we first started.
For a lot of people, that would be super tough, especially if you aren't super confident in yourself or your abilities. What would you tell those people?
Don't be afraid. Like the worst thing they're gonna tell you is no. Every 5 no's you get, there's 1 yes waiting to happen. Be confident in your ability and get them to a point where you realize like, yo, like I also know what I'm talking about.
What advantages do women have over men when it comes to building businesses?
I feel like women communicate better. I mean, granted, it's me and my sister, so, there's definitely a different standard when you work with your siblings. We don't give up. So I feel like we are always finding new ways to kind of combat something or learn a different challenge that we weren't prepared for in the beginning, but we communicate all the time. We have morning meetings, we have weekly touch bases on our orders and what we're doing on our advertising front, our marketing front. It's a lot of just kind of making sure that we're on the same page and working through those issues together without us butting heads all the time.
Can you tell us about one of your biggest wins over the past 1 or 2 years?
We were given the opportunity to create the engagement ring for Indian matchmaking on Netflix. We pitched ourselves, we got in touch with the production company, and 4 weeks later we had a ring in hand and we were filming.
Dang,
Yeah.
Okay. What are some daily habits that you do that you think everyone should try doing?
Started listening to CEO School by Sidera Madani. She provides a great 20-minute clips of how to properly pitch yourself or how to create a PR deck. Learning all those new skills is really important because I need those. Yeah. So podcast girl, and taking the time to make sure that I get a workout in the morning.
Can you share one piece of advice that you learned from the podcast or anything else that really stuck with you?
Knowing what you have and basically giving 3 before taking 1. Building that network and making sure that you're not just asking and taking, but you're also providing value back. You're extending a hand 3 times, whether it be in your industry or someone that's starting up, and then asking for, the piece of advice that you need some help on.
If someone else wants to start their own jewelry business, what should they do?
Look into GIA. It's the Gemologist Institute. They have a ton of free information on their website about jewelry manufacturing, whether it be gemstones, if you want to get into diamonds, or even CAD designing for jewelry.
What's your opinion on having a niche? Is it important or is it not important?
I think it's important. I feel like if you're trying to do everything, you're not doing anything well, right? You can always grow what that niche offering is, but I think it's important to figure out one thing or a couple of things that you're really passionate about and you feel like you could really do well in, and then, you know, kind of grow from there. But if you're trying to do everything, it's like throwing something to the wall and like trying to see what sticks, right? Like you're just kind of playing a guessing game more than trying to perfect what you're doing.
What is your definition of success?
Being able to grow to a point that it's sustaining itself. So I think like I would consider myself successful if I'm making someone's life easier.
Any final advice you want to give young entrepreneurs, especially those who are women?
Learn as much as you can, network as much as you can. You know, they always say you're only as strong as your network, and it's so true. Those are the people that are going to be there to offer you advice, to be able to introduce you to the right people. So networking and learning never stop.
What's your name and what do you do for a living?
Karla Dennis. I'm the CEO of Karla Dennis Associates, Inc., and I drive the vision of the company. We do tax planning, prep, advisory, all 50 states.
In 30 seconds or less, can you tell us about your whole story, how you got to where you are today?
I worked 9 to 5 from a law firm, which was really 9 to 9. I quit that job when I got pregnant with my first son, started my business on my kitchen table, and grew it to what it is today.
How did you discover your passion for taxes?
I hated taxes, Charlie, to be honest with you. When I went to school as an undergrad, I didn't take one tax class. When I graduated college, I went to work as an administrator for a law firm. I was like an administrative assistant, paralegal, love reading the law. That's how I found my passion for taxes and tax research strategy. It was never really about tax preparation until I really realized how important the law was and how much I just love analyzing the law and applying it to people's situations.
Can you bless us with like one cool tax hack or piece of advice?
This is a profession. Go to somebody that knows what they are doing and that they really break it down and analyze your situation. Somebody's gonna lean into you.
Now, as a female entrepreneur, have you faced any hardships?
My industry is dominated by Caucasian males. So you really have to know what you're doing to be in this industry. So for me, I've never really used it as an excuse. I just said, you know what? I am going to have so much knowledge that they're gonna give me an invitation to the table.
Can you tell us about a previous struggle you had and how you got through it?
I'm not a licensed CPA. I didn't work in a CPA firm. And so in the beginning, that was sort of like a roadblock for me. But then I said, you know what, Karla, don't try to brand yourself the same, brand different. The fact that you didn't go through a CPA firm makes you really unique. You can relate to the average entrepreneur that bootstrap their business, lean into your brand, lean into who you are, and people will just come to you. The reason why you're unconfident is because you're comparing yourself against somebody else. You only need to be a little bit better than you were the day before.
What is a daily habit that you do that has really contributed to your success?
I work out at the top of my day. I don't jump in emails or anything like that. I don't let anybody hijack my day. Top of my day has to be pouring into Karla Dennis. I'm gonna read, I'm gonna physically work out, I'm gonna get my mind right so that I could go serve others.
How do you invest your money?
I invest in real estate. I do invest in the stock market. I invest my money in education, building me up. I think that that's one thing that people don't realize. That's an intangible investment that's gonna pay you dividends year over year when you invest in education for yourself.
So what type of education for yourself?
Reading, that's first thing. But even more important than that, if I see somebody that is doing something that I wanna do, if they have a program, I'm gonna go invest in the program. I remember when I dropped 50 grand. I was a shy girl. I'm still a really introverted person. Okay. I was never confident to speak in front of people. So when I invested in Les Brown's program, he says, you know, Karla, the only difference between you and the other person that's speaking on the stage or has whatever is your confidence to believe in you. And he goes, do you feel like you know what you're talking about? I go, absolutely. He goes, and then you go out there and you tell people what you know and don't look back. That was the best $50,000 investment that I ever made.
And I know you do a lot of speaking events now, and you're on TV and stuff like that. What have you learned from doing that?
You have to have control over your mind. You gotta be confident in what you know, and you gotta be confident in what you don't know. When I go speak, I don't need to be scripted because you ask me a question, either I'm gonna know the answer, or I'm gonna say, you know what, that's a great question. I literally don't know the answer to that question. I could get back to you.
What is one of your favorite books?
Go Givers Give More. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Art of Not Giving a
In the last 5 years, what's been the worst use of your money?
Investing in crypto that I really don't know anything about.
You guys did an awesome job marketing your business. What's your marketing strategy?
We want to educate taxpayers and really empower them. Give out as much knowledge as we possibly can. Be a giver of knowledge. So I want to empower people with knowledge content to help them. They'll reach out when they need me, and that's the way that we've marketed.
How do you balance your work and personal life?
It's all about prioritizing time management. My highest orders take care of me first. If there's something I need to do for my family, I prioritize that next, and then business drops in next.
Do you have any advice for how to learn faster or better or more efficiently?
We want to consume knowledge overnight, but you have to realize knowledge comes in a couple of different ways. Knowledge comes through experience, time. It comes in educating yourself, reading, and it comes in hanging out with like-minded people.
So where can you find like-minded people?
I think you see people doing things on Instagram. I think we have such an opportunity to surround ourselves with people doing great things by watching what they're doing. Reach out to them. You got to create groups. Don't wait for the groups to come to you. Reach out to them and say, hey, would you like to get a mastermind with me? Plus them with something. Be a giver. They will then turn around and give it back to you.
How do you actually find your passion though?
If you're struggling to find your passion, just start maybe taking some classes, trying out some different things. Go volunteer in somebody's office. Before I opened up my office, I went and volunteered with a lady. I gave her 60 days of my time. It was the best education I could have gotten.
What has been the best hire you've ever made?
My assistant. She was older than me, and what I liked about her, not only did she assist me, but she used to give me life advice.
Any final advice you would want to tell aspiring young entrepreneurs, especially those that are women?
Believe in yourself. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Don't compare yourself to a man in this field. People would say to me all the time, Karla, do you know this tax person, that tax person? No, I've never even heard of those people because I don't focus on other people because I want to do what I do and focus on me. Lean into who you are. If you're a mother, lean into the fact that you're a mompreneur. Other mompreneurs will resonate with you. So just live your truth, live your passion, and it will come to you.
So there you have it, talking with 4 really successful female entrepreneurs. I really hope you guys learned a ton from this video. I think it's so important to share different perspectives on entrepreneurship. I'm really all about helping aspiring entrepreneurs get started. I was in the same boat before, and I really think that it's so important to find people that we can relate to, because that was definitely the case with me. Finding Asian entrepreneurs that I could look up to was pretty tough, and so I really think it's important to empower people through content like this. So hopefully you were left inspired, and if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. I make a ton of videos about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and investing. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.